Hello fellow cinephiles, Film Guru here. Today I'm reviewing Destroyer. This was directed by Karen Kusama and stars Nicole Kidman, Toby Kebbell and Sebastian Stan. And this really follows the story of Detective Erin Bell, played by Nicole Kidman. As a young cop, she was placed undercover with a gang in a California desert with tragic results. The film really looks at the effect that case had on her and her family. Ultimately, opportunity arises when the leader of the gang re-emerges many years later. She must work her way back through the remaining members and into her own history with them to finally reckon with the demons that destroyed her past. She's sort of a destructive sort of character and so damaged by what's happened to her. And we get to see her journey through this. She hopes by tracking down this guy she'll be able to redeem herself for everything that's transpired. Finally bring this man to justice and put to bed all the demons that she has and carried for so long. There's a lot of twists and turns in this film. She ultimately tries to reconnect with a daughter that she hasn't had a very strong bond with for a long period of time. And that's what the film sort of looks at, her trying to make amends, and it all leads to quite a confrontational ending and quite an interesting film in that regard. And this is Destroyer. Look, I really like this film. It's a solid movie. I think it's well made and put together, and all the acting is really great. I think Nicole Kidman gives one of her better performances here, and with the last three that she's done, Boy Erased, Aquaman and this, I've been really impressed with her performance. She's an actress I haven't really grown to like over the years because I've never felt connected to her. I never felt she was believable as the characters. But the last three films she's proven me wrong, and I really like that aspect of it. What I really like about this film is it looks at the sort of gritty, dark side of being a detective and how some things can scar you. And I kind of like these sort of characters. They're sort of noir and they're sort of damaged and they're trying to redeem themselves. And that's what I like about the characters. They might be despicable when we first meet them, but the fact that they're trying to redeem themselves gives them something in my eyes that I really like. And this is no exception, this film. And it's kind of interesting how traditionally characters like this are usually played by males, but this time it's played by a female, which I find gives this film a refreshing look. Nicole Kidman plays the main character, which is usually, like I said, played by a man, and I really like that aspect. It flipped it on its head a little bit and doing something different with it, and I like that. Quite enjoyed that aspect to the film. And it also looks at, is a person redeemable? Can they redeem themselves for the things they've done? Can they right the wrongs that they've made? Or are they unable to do that? And is it too late to reconnect with people in their lives after everything that's transpired, or isn't it? And I sort of like these questions that this film asks. I think Karen Kusama does a really great job here. I've sort of liked her on and off. I've enjoyed Girl Fight was one film she did and I liked, and The Invitation, which I thought was really well done. And I think she does a really solid job directing here. It looks good, all the acting's solid, and it's a captivating enough story, and the character really grows on you throughout the film. There's stuff I really liked and stuff I didn't like as much. So I thought I'd start with the stuff I didn't like too much. I felt that with the Erin Bell character that Nicole Kidman was playing, I didn't really buy her as a character. I didn't really believe her. It took me a while to really get into her playing this character and to believe that she really was this person. And there's one particular scene that where she's trying to get information out of this particular guy and she crosses the line, which I think is a really important scene in the film and points the film in a different direction. I really like that aspect, and this is from this scene onwards I really bought her as this character and believed she was this person and not Nicole Kidman playing a character. I'm not sure why that happened, but that's just how I felt. Maybe I went in, you know, with the whole thing of not really being a huge fan of Nicole Kidman, expecting her to do much more. It's a very subtle performance, but as the film goes on she's able to do more and you're able to connect with her a lot more, so that's a positive. It sort of goes along in present day, and then it has flashbacks of the particular robbery that transpired in a particular case that made her end up where she is. And I felt it a little jarring at times. I could see why they did it and the way they went about it, and it kind of makes sense with particular scenes of the character remembering things, and we get to see that. I just felt that the main thing at the end is looking at this bank robbery that she was involved in that went bad. And I just felt the film should have opened with that. Even if we didn't see the whole thing, just a little bit, I felt if the film opened there and then we skipped 17 years later and seeing where she is now, I thought that would have made it a bit more interesting story. The other criticism I have is it wasn't as gritty as I thought it would be. I didn't think they pushed the grittiness or the violence as much as I felt they should. Because these sort of films tend to be sort of gritty and tough and rough and a bit violent. And there is violence in this film, don't get me wrong, but I just felt they should have pushed it a bit more. It just felt like it needed a bit more of an oomph and a bit more power to the scenes that we transpired in the film. And I think this film would have been a lot better with those, even though I did enjoy it. There's a handful of scenes that really stick out for me. Like I said, that scene where she's trying to get information out of this particular guy and she starts to cross the line. This is where the character to me becomes really interesting, and I really believe Nicole Kidman's performance and that she is this character. The other scenes I like are sort of flashback scenes and seeing how she was back then and what transpired for her. And the other scene I really like is between Erin Bell and her daughter. I think that's really fantastic. I think Nicole Kidman's really great in that, and the young actress playing her daughter in it is really great as well, and they bounce off each other really well, and you really believe this. I like the look of Nicole Kidman, that she's sort of older and a bit drained, really skinny, and her hair's sort of greying. It's black but sort of greying, and I kind of like that. I think she really looked good and really suited that world. I didn't know what to expect, to tell you the truth, but I just knew that I wanted to see Nicole Kidman in a role that really pushed her as an actress, and she really sort of created a character and inhabited that character, and she really does that in this film, and that's the aspect of it I really like the most. And I think she's a really solid actress when she gets the right role and the right material, but the immersion that she puts herself in here, like she was quoted as saying that she sort of had to stay in the mindset of the character in order to stay in that place as the character in the movie. And I thought that was true commitment for an actress to do that. And I think she shines because of that fact. And like I said, I really like the fact that this storyline, typically played by males, it was played by a female character. It made it more refreshing and interesting to watch. Final verdict. Look, I thought this was a solid film. It's solidly made, directed and acted, and the story's captivating enough, and the character, even though they're sort of damaged and, you know, and sort of a little bit dark sort of character, there's something about her you can get behind, and I think it's a redemption side of it. I kind of like that aspect to it, and I really like how they're trying to mend fences, and that's what this film sort of focuses on. If you're a fan of Nicole Kidman, you might enjoy this. If you like a gritty sort of interesting told sort of crime drama, you might like this as well. I don't think this film's going to be for everyone, but I think it will find an audience, and I think people will enjoy it. I'm going to give Destroyer 4 out of 5. I enjoyed my experience with it. It could have been better in parts, but I did enjoy it overall, and I enjoyed Nicole Kidman's performance as well as how the movie was put together. The next film I will be reviewing is Shazam, which comes out next week, and I look forward to this and hope it's really good. Anyway, that's all from me today. Thanks for watching. I hope you enjoyed this video, and if you did, please hit subscribe down the bottom. Otherwise, until next time, enjoy the movies.